getting cranking, getting started. To start this live, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so here we are. Let me take my AirPod out of my ear. I need to probably create I know y'all see all my stuff behind me. It's a lot going on. This is my workspace. This is my office. As you can see, I am a realtor. I'm in the DMV. So that means I have maps behind me that talk about the area that I'm in. Switch it just a teeny bit. It looks a little bit better. To me, it does. We'll go with it. But let's talk about it, guys. What this will be. This is a live stream. The intention is to go live every Friday at noon on my YouTube channel. I do TikTok daily lives. Those are usually geared more towards that evening, afternoon. So, like, I'm going to get a solidified time when I get this down pat. My schedule's a little wonky sometimes as a real estate agent, as you all understand. So my schedule is a little all over the place sometimes, and things happen and shift and all the things. And as a wife and mother, I have certain responsibilities that sometimes they call me away from my perceived schedules. But this series is going to, these lives are going to start to dig deep into the home buying and selling process. I stated on my TikTok yesterday, one of the things that I do know is this is a lot of information for people to be able to hear, take in, absorb, and react. So when I come to you and we talk about purchasing a home, when I come to you and we talk about selling your home, there's so much to it that I don't, and I give you booklets and printouts and comps and, different things that are going on in the area. It's still a lot. So with that being said, I broke it down, subject, subset topics, all the things, so it would be a little bit more consumable. Now, this doesn't stop you from buying a house. This probably might not start you from buying a house, but to be informed is, I think, the most important piece. I personally am, when I purchased my home in 2011/12, because it was about a year's of process, I did not know a lot of the things that I know now, and I learned along the way as a buyer. It was a process that I felt was super overwhelming, but in the same token, exciting. And what I didn't know were the intangibles and the things that put fear in my heart, that made me feel a certain way. It made me super scared to, make a move or do anything wrong, because I did not know what I could and couldn't do. It was just so. In my quest as a realtor, I am here to make sure that my clients get it. I don't mind talking to exhaustion sometimes, where my voice goes very, very raspy, because I've been talking so long, because I went over a 65-page document with you. I'm not opposed to doing such a thing. So with that being said, I do take a lot of time and energy, and I think that's the personal experience that I like to give my clients. I'm a Virgo, so I'm very detailed, very detail oriented, and I have a sense of loyalty to just about everybody until you do your own. So that part is probably something that people just like, oh, okay, wow, it's crazy. But I'm with you to the end. I'm not going anywhere, because I absolutely love my business and I love what I do. So with that being said, I make it my point to hang out with people, talk you through whatever issues, resolve, blah, 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 the things that you come up across when it comes to home ownership. And there's some things. People, we all got stuff. You have the most money, best credit, and there's still stuff that we have to contend with and deal with and do. So with all that being Is that my quote now? My quote used to be super, super, super. Now it's all that being said. I don't think I want that to be my catchphrase. So what I talked about on TikTok Live to introduce this series is what I'll essentially talk about on my YouTube channel, where you get a little bit more about me. So all of this can be found in a bio and things, but I tend to believe that the bio is super pretty, but hearing it straight from the horse's mouth is essentially the thing that you would want to go with. So let's talk about it. I just turned 51. My birthday was Sunday. So um, that's a big thing for me. Learning a lot of clarity and things in my life as I move on through this business. But I've been in this business for 10 years. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know where I'm going to go. Trust you me, this was not on my bingo card at all when it came to employment, what I wanted to do in my life. I can tell you this. My connection to real estate and what really drove me was the fact that I love interior design. I loved interior design. And I've gotten to the point where I really love the way houses are constructed, like floor plans, things making sense, just having that flow and just feeling that connectivity once you walk through a house. And that's some of the things that I take into consideration when it comes to listing houses, helping my clients find houses, just my small tidbits and teaching, pieces of advice. We're in homes and how all that looks. So 10 years in this business. What did I do before that? Well, as you know, in the Washington, D.C. metro area, I did what just about 95% of the people do here. I work for the federal government. I was in the administrative assistant field for over 25 years. Some of it private, some of it, uh, 90% of it were federal government. So I was a career and I was climbing the essential ladder to become uh, a, what do they call it? Like a journey government employee. And at the 20s and the 30s, that was all that I was sure of. I was going to be in the federal government. I was going to climb the ladder, go from the fives to the sevens to nines to 11s to 12s, for those of you who know the grades. That was the part that I was going to do. And I was very content in that world. And someone introduced me to real estate and said, oh my God, you should get into it. Still didn't have a concept or clue of the, the there's no ceiling in real estate. I love to tell my new agents, there's truly no ceiling in real estate. You can do anything you want to do. No one can tell you you cannot sell 50 houses. Nobody can tell you you can't sell 200 houses. You just have to put the plan together to make it all work. So for my newbies who are thinking about real estate, thinking about taking a test, please drop me a note, drop me something in the comments, ask me questions. I don't mind. I truly and honestly don't mind. Once again, that's that Virgo spirit in me. I want to help people. I really want to see you grow. I really, truly, honestly want to see you grow. I want to see you glow up. I want to see you do amazing things in this business because you're talking to a teenage mom who did partial college. And I've been able to find success in this lane where I'm allowed to do anything I put my mind to if I get up and set set expectations and priorities for myself on a daily basis, and I do my tasks. I can do anything I want to do. No one can tell me no. I work for me. So the only one who's going to hold me back is me, not the market, not clients that will or won't buy, not people that will or won't sell. I. That's my mindset. And for those of you who are thinking about getting into real estate, please understand real estate is a mindset game. When I met my coach, her name is Kristen Mashore. Sorry, it feels like something was on my face. When I met my coach, Kristen Mashore, a couple of years ago, in the middle of the pandemic, please don't underestimate. I was doing pretty good. What I felt like was really good. I had a lot of momentum going, but in the middle of that momentum, I said, okay, what next? What do I do next to really push and catapult this thing to the next level? And guess what? I came across this woman, this little blonde. She might be 5 feet tall woman that is like bounds of energy. She's just like, and as you can see, I am like pretty chill, laid back. So I was just like, You are an interesting person. I think I need to be around her because I know me. So when I get in rooms and people start talking and their voice is about the level of what I'm doing right now, and this is because it's my first time doing this series on YouTube. I warm up, especially when I'm engaging with people. I definitely warm up. My usual persona is very chill, very laid back. I'm sleep comments from the background. I'm just like, girl, look at that. That's me. So to meet this persona that is just like, she's energy, energy, go, 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 go. That was a nice juxtaposition to how I was and what I wanted. And the one thing I took away from this business that I've learned over the years, I'm only going to follow the people that have done the thing that I want to do. I don't want to hear from these professed super agents that truly haven't sold and done and been in the trenches and done the things. I think it's a work your way from the top to the bottom to really truly understand this business. If people have been in construction, if they have run teams, run brokerages, I love to sit down and listen to those type of people because they know the path that I want to go on. The path I want to go on ain't got nothing to do with owning a brokerage. That's not my ministry. Mm-mm. It's like wrangling cats. No, thank you. I don't want anyone's success hinging on how I live. It's a nice thought and really cute, but it's a lot. So I fall under the EXP umbrella where I do still 1099 self-employed, but the legalities and things, I have people in place that help me and make sure all those things are smoothly. So I can just sell houses because that's my superpower. I sell houses and I help people buy houses. That is my superpower. That's why we started this series. But I do know there was so much information to give out to people that I didn't want to get into. I wanted to be able to share it, but I wanted to share it in bite-sized pieces because the larger picture, because I could stand here and do a buyer presentation and you'd just be like, oh, okay, this is where I shine. When you get to meet me in person, you get to hear me talk. And when you hear the southern side, baby, we have gotten to a new level of comfort. When you start to hear the southern side of me come out, that's when you know we're in great territory and you my best friend at this point. That means you gotta invite me to the cookout and you gotta give me a burnt hot dog. I don't know if that's the southern thing about, but I like a burnt hot dog and I like potato bread. And please give me beef. Please do not give me a mixed hot dog. Don't give me turkey because I don't understand what a turkey dog is. That don't even register in my brain. So I need a beef hot dog. I'm partial to Nathan's. Me and Nathaniel get along very well. Probably don't need it, but I want it. And if I put ketchup on it, judge me later. I'll drink a lot of water so I won't have heartburn. That's my crush to carry. But it is what it is. So, in this pursuit of how do we get going? Who am I? Did I tell you? I told y'all 10 years in the business, in this real estate business. I'm a team leader, mentor with EXP, and I don't mind teaching. I don't mind doing things. Let me tell you the other piece to my resume that I forget sometimes. I am the president of the Southern Maryland network of the Women's Council of Realtors. So I'm a part of a big global thing that speaks about women in this industry and how we are killing it and how we collaborate and do things. And I think one of the quotes or the motto of the year is collaboration over competition. Us getting together is never a bad thing. Agents from all over the country getting together is never a bad thing. I am on something called Skin in the Game. And with my skin in the game calls, I run to and I'm on one because I need a butt kick. And what skin in the game means is I'm telling you what I'm doing a little bit every day to capitalize and move my business forward. Now, can you do this outside of real estate? Most definitely. So if there's a goal or something you guys are looking to achieve, I would definitely get some like-minded folks. Don't just get anybody. Get people who are on the same path and want the same things and are working towards them. Because everybody don't work towards the goals. People talk about it and it sounds good. And a week later, they not at the gym no more trying to get ready for the summer. I'm at the gym right now trying to get ready for the summer. It's September. We talking about next year. Y'all ain't gonna be able to talk to me next year if my abs come back. I'm just gonna ahead and tell you that. It's gonna be fun. Either way, that's neither here nor there when it comes to this business. It actually is a little bit part of the business. Being able to tour homes, walk homes. If I go see 9, 10, 15 homes in a day, I need to have stamina. I need to have the endurance to get through those houses. It's a lot of steps and a lot of walking, and I'm talking at the same time. So, oh my God, I got to get that stuff together. So I'm a Pilates baby right now. I'm living my life in Pilates and morning walks with my auntie and now my mama. So it's a whole thing. Thank you. And once again, I say I'm 51, so I got to keep things going. I cannot let anything slack and not be healthy. I think that's the grand thing about what we're doing right now. We need to be healthy. It's so much going on in the world, and there's so much junk out here. If you ain't trying to leave no time soon, get it together, people. Let's work out. Let's eat better. Let's think about it to be here for the long haul. I personally do. I have children. They're not babies, but they are my children. I still want to be here with them and see them grow, develop, and do all the things as long as I possibly can. So that's my thing. Um, so as we talk about just new construction, but resales. Resales are basically if someone lives in a house that's owned the house for some time and they decided to sell it, that's a resale versus new construction. This series will teeter a lot towards new construction, but it can also teeter towards um, the resale world. How buyers can still get houses, the difference in the cost of buying a resale versus buying new construction. There's so many caveats to this thing that we can just do. Once again, that's why my clients' eyes glaze over because there's so much information. The thing that I think people should start the conversation with, I'm not sure who says that they want my attention. I know who that is. I'm not going to figure it out. We'll call it later. But the one thing that we need to talk about is the fact that when you come and you say, I want to do X, Y, and Z. And right now, the conversation is, I want to either buy a house or to sell a house and make a move to leave here, to stay here, what have you. What do we need to determine first? First, I need to figure out how long you've been in your house. I had a client call me the other day and they said they were thinking about they wanted to sell or refinance. Well, they've been in the house for 2 years. The golden thumb rule, from my understanding, stay in your house at least 5 years if you're looking for that equity. Now, I've sold a couple houses earlier this year that my people were in for 5 years and they were able to walk away with a nice chunk of change, close to 100,000. And they were actually new construction homes, so little small improvements here and there. And people walk away with a sizable chunk of change because they met that 5 year mark. So if you do anything, meet the 5 year mark. I know jobs change, divorce, family, death, all the things can happen. But if you can hold out to really, truly gain on that investment, I personally would do that. I would wait on that because buying a house and having real estate is a long range game. It is not a temporary quick fix. I'm gonna make some money in a flip. No. If it's a flip, there are flip properties, but there's still things that you should take into consideration and know. You need to know how much they want for the flip, how much the renovation is going to cost you, and what is the repair value at the end. So that's quick money as well. But like I said, if you come to me and you say, "Hey, I want to sell my house," great and everything. Let's talk about where the neighborhood is pricing now. What's going on around you? When people say CMAs, they're called comparable market analysis. A CMA is a comparable property that matches what you have. It might not match exactly, but it's in the ballpark. It's close to the square footage. It's close to the style. The lot sizes are similar. Things of that nature are things that people use in comparables. And I should not be going back 3, 4, 5 years to find an old comparable so you can get a higher number. We should be looking in the last 6 months. Most appraisers would look in the last 6 months. And if the market is very lucrative and busy and fluctuating, you would even take even more closer, 30, 60 days to get your numbers to make sure they match with whatever you're looking to do in your home. And then you also have to take into consideration kitchens, bathrooms, upgrades, flooring, paint throughout, exteriors, the roof, the HVAC. All the things that people are going to be worried about because people visually see houses and that's what they want. And then they come in and they might start turning things over and realizing it's a little bit more to the puzzle than just, oh, it looked good in the pictures. Because I'm telling you, people can do some angles that make you think some things about houses. And when you show up, you're like, this the same house? I mean, that wall was blue, but is this the same house? Are you serious? So, with that being said, people, once again, I don't want that to be my catchphrase. With that being said, that's crazy work. But anyway, um, with that, you want to put your best foot forward. I can tell you right now, the buyers that are out here shopping right now are very, very picky. Very picky. They want what they want in a house. They want as close to HGTV as possible. Not too many of them want to do work and set up and build equity. They don't want sweat equity. They want what they want. They want to move in and sit down. Does the interest rate have anything to do with that? Most definitely. It could definitely make someone feel like, hey, if I have to pay out this much money a month for my budget, I'm not doing nothing. Nothing. And that's fair. That's so fair. Um, Affordable homes, especially in the Washington D.C. metro area where I live, Maryland, D.C., Northern Virginia, it's you have to move farther out to get those type of things. It's just the part of the trade. I would think anywhere, in any city, state, whatever, the closer you are to things, the highway, getting close to downtown where most people work and things of that nature, you're going to pay more. Anything in a city close to everything, you're going to pay more. If you have to drive a little bit and you live off the beaten path, and you probably get a better deal. That's usually how that works. So when people say to me, "Oh, I want to live here," what's your budget? What is it that you want in a home? Well, that neighborhood usually prices out about this much. That style of home prices out about that much in this community. Because what's the catchphrase in real estate is location, location, location. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths is not a challenge to find. What's the challenge to find? The right parks, the right schools, groceries, shopping, all the things that make your life living. Like I'll give you an example. I live in Agahgeek, Maryland. For those of you who don't know what that is, don't worry. I didn't either. And I'm from here. Raised in North Carolina, I'm from here. So when my aunt first moved to Agahgeek, oh my God, how many years ago? We was like, girl, we got to take a picnic basket. Honestly, we drove about 25 minutes, but in my head, it was a long way. And we got down here, and my city is considered rural territory. So we have the USDA eligibility here. If you qualify for the USDA home loan, you can 9 times out of get it in a house with zero down. Me and my husband were able to do that, and we have a new construction. Well, we had a new construction home. We're that was 2012 when we bought, and we were able to do a new construction loan, and then we tagged it on top of the builder paid all our closing help. So the money that we put down was a percentage that the builder asked us for. And we'll get into that, what the builder wants from you conversation, because every builder is not treated equally. Every builder is different. Every builder is going to say something different to you, ask you for something different as far as down payments, contingencies. Do you have to sell a house? Don't that? All the things. It's going to be different. So with that being, so here we go. We're gonna work on that catchphrase because that thing is driving me bananas. I don't like it. But what I will say is that moved us into this area. I love where I live. I really do. I like shopping. I like restaurants. I like conveniences. I have a car. So the fact that the Giant Food is a mile from me, Starbucks is a mile from me, 7-Eleven with gas is from me, Neighbor Federal Credit Union is a mile with me. It's a little shopping center right outside of my community. That's perfect for me. But my community is kind of hidden in the back. So you would have to venture down the road to be like, oh, there are more houses back here. It's always a surprise when people come to my house. They're like, girl, we didn't even know this was back here. That's the point. I didn't want you to know. But a lot of people live back here. Don't get it. It ain't 5 houses, trust me. Because Lisa can't live in the woods by herself. Baby, I need somebody need to hear me holler. When something go wrong, I want somebody to give me 2 minutes to be able to save me. Anyway, so when it comes to what you want, and my house started out at, this is why I always use 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath. My house started out as 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. My basement was partially finished, but the bathroom section was not done. So we had 4 bedrooms upstairs, 2 full baths, half bath on the main level, and the basement was partially finished. So you had to run up steps and use the bathroom. We finished that later down the line. That was the thing. It was an affordable community. Love my community. We have nice wide streets. I love that the shopping's here. I am 2 minutes from Highway 210 that will take you into the city. I think it's about 11, 12 mile trek. It'll take you into DC. It'll take you right across the bridge to go to Virginia and the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. It'll take you everywhere. So I'm in the heat of things, but I'm not in it, if that makes sense to you. So when people come to me and say they want a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath house, what are you looking for? What do you need to be close to? Is it important that you're close to work? Is it important that you're close to this, where your kids want to go to school? What are the factors that are going to navigate where we place you? When it comes to purchasing a home, knowing where you're going to live, what you want, is super, super important. But your financing is the most important. What dollars do you have at this time? How much is it going to truly cost you? Because you need a cost estimate. You need to know that the average down payment can range from 0%, depending on what you qualify for. If you're a VA, Meyer, things of that nature, it gets started at 3, 3.5, 5, 10, 20, all of the things. It can go up. That that I want to call it a myth. I guess I'm going to be a myth buster right now. That you have to have 20%. That is not a thing. I know when you go on Zillow and its estimates and all the things, they always automatically calculate 20%. I know a lot of people, they ain't got 20%. That's just not the norm for people. Most of my people, nothing against it, but they're looking for grants, down payment assistance, closing help, things of that nature, to make this an easier transition. Because to really come up and say, oh, I need $35,000 to buy something, it's like, oh, today? You need that? Like right now? Let me look at my 401k and see what that's working with. Let me look at my, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. It's a message that popped up. Sorry. It's, this is all be new to me, but this is a message that popped up. But let's go. So when you tell me, hey, I'm sorry, that's so distracting. But when you say to me, hey, I need some assistance. I have my down payment. I don't have closing help. Do we look at the programs that are potentially available to you, such as the Maryland Mortgage Program, Shanoa? There's so many different grant programs and assistance programs out here for buyers in the area. And yes, you could definitely do that. But some of them have stipulations of things that you need to take into consideration. Income you can't. I'm going to throw this in my head. You cannot make $250,000 and 9 times out of 10 be eligible for a grant program. You might get to the 100% FHA, 100% VA, 100% FHA, 100% conventional loan, but keep in mind it's going to cost you a little bit more on a monthly basis. You're just going to stretch out that money that's needed for the down payment. And do you still use another grant program for the closing assistance if you don't have that? I've had clients successfully use these programs and literally come to, after putting down like a deposit, let's say like $3,000, they might have brought $400 or $500 to the table or they might have walked away with a check. It just all depends on how it lays out, the circumstances, the programs they use, how much you're asking a seller to pay in closing help and things of that nature. Those are all the things that you're going to take into to potentially use to get you in the door. That's it's so many ways. Every client is not the same. I have to approach every situation differently. Every situation. Hey, when is your lease up? How does that work out for you? When would you like to? What area are we thinking about? Are you thinking of new construction? Because we've got XYZ number of houses laid out and they may be gone or they may still be there. It's just all the things that we have to take into consideration when it comes to this purchase and how we move forward. Um, so just saying, oh, I want a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath. I can tell you right now, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath in Old Town. I don't even know if you can get it in Old Town because Old Town is narrow row houses. So that's a lot of space. They might not. Well, I know they just built some new town home styled. I know Tri Point and Tri Point. I don't think Toll Brothers is over there. Yeah, I think it's just Tri Point and Exile Alexandria, and they're not really truly in Old Town. They're right around the corner. Those were in the 1 point something million for that layout, and it's a 4 level townhouse with rooftop terrace. But if you want 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, and you come back to Accokeek, you're probably looking at about 5 to 700,000. And Fort Washington might be a little bit lower, but a little bit higher depending on if you're closer to the water. Waldorf, you're looking at between 5 and 700,000, or maybe even four if you don't want a basement. There's just it just keeps moving. It just keeps going. We're not even going to talk, but that's the Potomac. You're really going to push the number up. Ellicott City, you're really going to push the number up unless you want something much older. And the new construction in those areas are usually in the 2 point million if you do new construction with that kind of sizable. If anybody loves the black frame windows, that is the motif everybody's going with, the white brick, the black frame trim of the windows, the doors, the gutters, and all the things. Really, really aesthetically gorgeous. But when you talk about Howard County, Montgomery County, um, even in PG County, you're up 1 million plus for that aesthetic. And then let's not even talk about land on top of that. So telling me, oh, I want this, gives me a lot of reference as to what I should start looking at for you. So you can know, hey, I may have to be in this community. I might have to look for something a little less, a little more. It all depends. It's not a precise thing. A new construction. I am in the midst of a deal where we are building a 55 plus active community home. It'll be a 2 level. So they'll have a main living area and then upstairs loft, bedroom, bathroom. And we're in the mid to high sixes at that one. And that's in PG County. You don't even get a basement. So, yeah. So, if that's, if you come and you have a smaller budget, it's doable. It just all depends on where you want to live and what makes sense to you in the grand scheme of things. A lot of people say, oh, you just try to people everywhere. Do things there. I'm just taking you where the dollars make sense. And I can show you. I don't think I'm the property brothers. I don't think I should be showing you houses and you fall in love and then you're like, how much is this house? $6.9 million. No, 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 that's not my budget. And then they take them to the crappy house and they renovate the crappy house for them, tell them how much it's going to take and all the things. And then they move in. I don't have those talents. I know how to work a hammer. I do not know how to DIY a whole house. So that's something that I try not to do with my clients, is taking you somewhere where it's it diminishes your dream. I think this business and this opportunity to purchase a home should all be about empowering, moving forward, gaining things, and growth. So I'm not here to diminish your dreams. So when I want you to have a conversation with my lender, it's for a good reason. We want to set the correct expectations. We don't want you to get hit with a payment that you're not comfortable with, because I do have clients that they can get approved for a very large number. That's not the payment that they're comfortable with. And I think that's, let's normalize making that okay. Because if you come to me and it's like, oh, they can buy up to 800,000, what do you want to buy? Tell me what it's, what are your expectations about what you want to pay on a monthly basis, where you can have peanut butter, you can have salmon, you can have some grits. I'm country. I love salmon grits and I love shrimp grits. Don't judge me. So just having the expectation of, this is what I feel comfortable with. And it might not be an $800,000 budget. It might be a $400,000 or $500,000 budget. That could be the reason why you live the way you live. You live a very comfortable life and you're not stressed out about your bills. That's not what I want, because Miss Lisa don't pay nobody's mortgage. So if anything happens, I'm probably not the person to call and say we need some help, because I got a whole house myself to deal with, and my own things to deal with. So um, I like to put people in houses that I think they will be able to sustain, live in for years and years to come, get the growth, get the equity if they need be, if that suits them. I talk to my past clients a lot about the growth. Oh, we did this, we changed this, we made this happen, we did this, we did that. I love that conversation, because that means you're truly invested. And home ownership is about investing yourself in the community. You leave a footprint when you come into your community. When you're a homeowner, you just don't live in a house. You're bringing things to the area. You're using the grocery stores, the libraries, the parks, you are an integral part of your community. So buying a home just sets you up for, everything that you would want in your world. I know when I leave here, I go to Starbucks. Hey, I see my favorite baristas. I talk to them. We engage. I see my people at the grocery store. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? I do go out and shop and restaurant and things like that. We do have one little restaurant down here called Crab Boat. I like crab boat. They're really good. The jumbo shrimp are really good. Seasoned well, the fries, some of my favorites. But I don't want the rush of a mall and all the things right beside me. I can drive to go get that stuff. So that makes me happy. But when you become an integral part of your community, oh my heavens, it's limitless. You use the local plumbers, you use the guy maybe who comes to cut the grass, your electricity, water, gas, all the people are being employed. Things are happening because you own a home. You have cable. Let me tell you, I live in a cul-de-sac. This ain't got nothing to do with real estate. It has something to do with real estate. Let me say it has something to do with real estate. But can I tell y'all, I adore my neighbors. Now, the group before this, I adored them too. They were the best neighbors. We talked, we chit chatted, all the things. And it was just that sense of being. My neighbors on this side, we talk, we chit chat. The ones on the other side of the other neighbors talk, chit chat. It's very community. I don't need to talk to them every day. I can wave. If your mail comes over, I drop it off. If something's wrong, like I had to go tell my neighbor one night, hey, your garage door is wide open and it's 11 o'clock at night. Is that normal? Oh my God, thank you so much. But my favorite neighbors left. They moved. This was one of those moments where they said, we want to be closer to family. We want to be closer to our grandchildren, to have those moments. And those are the things that pivot and make people make decisions. They had the type of jobs that had the flexibility that made sense for them. So they moved to Pennsylvania. They left me. My whole family was heartbroken. We were like, oh no, they're leaving. We love them. They're the best neighbors ever. Well, I sold their house. That was pretty cool. That I live right next door. So people would call and they'd be like, hey, we want to see the house. I'm like, give me a minute. I'll be over there in 2 seconds. And they're like, and I come popping out of the door. So that was the funniest thing ever. But I do like to let my neighbors know this is what I do. I'm not a high pressure person, so this is what you're gonna get. I'm not gonna push up on anybody. It's just not in my nature. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But either way, and I don't know if this could be viewed as being aggressive. This is just my laid back way of being able to talk to people. And I'm essentially sitting here looking at a screen. I'm talking. There's no engagement, so I don't know what to do. I just have to keep going. But this is how you get to meet me and get to know how I am and how I work and how I feel about my clients and how I feel about this business in general, and just being able to break it down and explain to people and just tidbits. But let me talk about my neighbors. I have the cutest little kid neighbors. They are a hoot. They are our daily entertainment. Our children are, the youngest is 22, so we don't have babies anymore in the house. Literally, I will literally go buy them Christmas gifts because they my jam. They are the most entertaining little people. I think children are just entertaining little people anyway. I think their curiosity, the things they say, the observations they make, crack me up. They are the best. But these two little children next door are the best. They every time I pull up, where you been? Where you going? Why you go there? What? Like what was that about? Like I had a cake plate in my hand the other day, and baby, I don't even know how he knew it was cake in his plate. I had the cover over, and the cake was laying flat because I already sliced them up, and they were kind of like in a semicircle. So it wasn't even the cake wasn't even standing up. It wasn't like anything to visually see. And he was like, "Hey, you got some cake?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can I have some?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on over." And I'm chocolate vanilla. What you want? Here comes his younger sister, who's starting to talk, and you can understand her a teeny bit, but she got some words that just kind of go over your head sometimes. But once again, so freaking funny and so cool. And it's just like the makeup of the neighborhood. Just to know that these kids are next door, you see them come out their little daily walks and stuff. This is the things that you get in home ownership. The tie-ins, the local elementary. I've been working with Academic Academy. God, my daughter is 22. She went to Academic Academy. We started in the third grade. I cannot think of her teacher's name in the third grade, but I remember her fourth grade math teacher was really cool. Um, my daughter in school is a whole nother conversation. But but let's talk about the fact that she just really, really engaged. I got engaged with the community. I was part of the PTA. I came up with some ideas, helped do some things, just because I wanted to be involved. And I was involved with the school she was at before here. So with that, we I created a relationship with the school. So even though she's 22, hasn't been there in years, I still go back. Hey, what's up? What do you guys need? What can we do? How can we help? You would be amazed at how far $100 can go in the help of a school. Could you? I don't know if everybody heard about the story of Kendrick Lamar and his wife being able to wipe out deficits in school lunch accounts for children in several areas. I don't know. I don't remember the story exactly, but that's the kind of cool stuff that helps people. Um, it would wrinkle me if I heard that children did not get to eat and they went the whole day. How uncomfortable is it if I'm hungry and I can't eat and I have no resources or anything? So that's the last thing I would want a child to go through. So being able to create fundraisers and opportunities for for the schools and the families to be able to um, supply the lunch accounts to keep the kids fed on a daily basis. Because I don't know if historically you guys know, there are a lot of children that go to school to eat. That is their only option. So Saturdays and Sundays, I, I don't even want to fathom what babies go through. But with that, we were able to go in, my team, years past. We got the screen projector, we got the blow up, we got the popcorn machine, and we would host movie nights, and they would charge the families $5 for a whole family to come in and enjoy the night. That's a game changer. So those monies were going towards the PTA to be able to take care of the kids and make sure that they can eat and do other things. So that's something that I always want to be a proponent of. I want to be a supporter of. So when it comes to school supplies, uniforms, and things, because we wear uniforms here in Maryland, especially in PG County. Charles, I don't think Charles County, I don't think they wear uniforms, but the kids in PG County do. So being able to help children have nice, fresh uniforms is so important to me. And guess what? You cannot say kids that are in uniform schools don't get bullied, because they still do. Kids still look at the tennis shoes. They still look how clean or nicely kept your uniform is, haircuts, hairdos, all of that stuff is part of the consideration. So I hate that, children go through that. So just want to say this is a little different because I see people that are in, but I don't see you as visual as I would on TikTok Live. So I just wanted to thank you all for tuning in and checking out. But let's talk about the purchasing. When it comes to is it part of your budget? Is the value truly there? Because a lot of people tell me they don't want to buy a house that's overvalued. Oh my God, that's too expensive. It's not going to be worth it in a couple of years. Well, I can tell you progressively year over year, we've experienced a healthy amount of growth, not ridiculous, just healthy. So every year, 2 to 3% in growth is been experienced. So it's a nice level number. It's not crazy. So that's why I say that 5-year rule applies when it comes to buying in to sitting on a house. So progressively, people tend to move every 3 to 5 years. That move elevates you. Do you take the equity from that house, use it towards your second house? Do you leave that house as the first of your investment portfolio and go to your second house and bump, 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 bump? My lender, Tim Murphy, is notorious for giving that type of information to help you do the BRRRR method. It is rent, buy, renovate, repeat. And it's one more R, I can't remember it. So that way you can accumulate a number of different properties. I have one guy, I'm not gonna we can tell his name. I don't think we're supposed to tell his name, but he's got maybe about 7 or 8 properties in Charles County. I've got another young lady. She's got a number of properties in the area, and they are of that cloth. They buy, renovate, rent, and then move on to the next one. I can't remember that last R. It's the BRRRR method. You might want to look it up online. It's super cool. And Tim Murphy is my go-to guy when it comes to how to execute such a thing. And it's, once again, real estate is a long game. It is not a quick flip investment. Can I get that money back like right now? No. This is a slow process. It is steady money. It's like watching the stock market, except I feel like it's just a little bit safer. And you're going to put the dollars into it. Now, I can tell you, me personally, the things that I put into my house, hardwood floors. We started with hardwood floors, but where they had carpet, we replaced with hardwood. Starting to work on our bedrooms to go to hardwood. It's just a nice upgrade. It's more manageable and all the things. Painting in the house, upgrading the appliances in my kitchen because builder grade. People always talk about we've elevated and gotten nicer things as we've lived here. But once again, I purchased back in 2012. So 13 years later, I hope I do get a new refrigerator. I hope I do get a new dishwasher and stove and things. You have to continue to improve dishwashers and garbage disposals. One thing I'm noticing is I want to start switching out the ladies and the sinks in my bathrooms because they start to get a little cranky, rusty, and upgrade those type of things. Painting the outside, keeping your curb appeal. Curb appeal is like gold. You gotta know. I don't know why people are calling me, but curb appeal is gold. You have to, when you first pull up, I'm judging you. I'm looking at your door. I look at my own door and be like, oh, you gotta paint that thing, do something about it. It's part of the process. And yes, upkeep is not it's not hard, but it is necessary. I think it's super smart and important that you keep your house up. It's it's like your body. You gotta put the right things in to get the right things out. Don't have the expectation that someone is going to come and do you. And I know when people live in apartments, they're used to being able to call maintenance and um, have somebody else come and fix things. But in this, you're the responsible party. So do you learn how to do a couple things? You most certainly do. You learn how to do some things that that you probably end up doing. But that's all part of this world of home ownership. And we talked about buying a house, but as far as selling a house, we want to know what the comparables. And like I told you, it's called a CMA. It's comparable market analysis. That's one of the words that I want you to key in on. That is part of evaluating your house versus houses that have currently sold on the market very close to you. So we don't want to go down the street and your house is 3,000 square feet. And we go down the street and get a 6,000 square foot house and think that's a comparable. That's not a comparable. Let's stay in the same range. Let's make sure it makes sense. Let's make sure that a lot of the fixtures and, because I use a service that helps me know that there's a low range and a high range. And with the low range and a high range, the lower end is usually needs a ton of work. Mid range, you're decent. Top, you fixed everything. Everything is brand new. Everything is nice and sparkly, and you basically can just move in. That's how houses should be valued. We have to really take it all into consideration because I want to kind of get into the mind of the appraiser before they show up, so I can make sure that he knows that I know that we should, be in the same ballpark. Hey, these are the houses that when I priced this house, I was thinking of. These are my leaders. These are my indicators, if you would say. And that is how we come to this conclusion. Now, if you as a seller is like, no, my house is way better than that, and it's awesome that you believe that. 9 times out of 10, your house is probably about the same. I live in a very cookie cutter neighborhood. I can point out my house probably 10, 15 times in this community. Are my insides different? Probably not. The small changes that I've made, bringing in the wood where there used to be carpet. Like I know my neighbor next door, they have not changed that out yet in their house. Um, we had the same countertop, the same granite. It was like they must have been doing a 2-for-1 sale. That was the granite they gave you. So those upgrades could be different, and it depends on, once again, we go back to the builder. What did the builder put in the house? What did the builder say? Is it an inventory builder? Is it a spec builder? Well, inventory and spec are the same thing. I'll get into that later. But is it an inventory builder or is it a build demand? Like, hey, this is what I want the counter. And they will let you do literally anything you want. They will not stop you. Please don't be the people that have a blue bathroom, a green bathroom, a yellow bathroom. Bring it together. That used to be the thing back in the day. People would just, I want this color, I want that color, I want this, I want this. And when you went to resale, it was like, why do they do that? Oh my God. One of the biggest things that I always hear, oh, we didn't want a back door. It costs too much. I personally do not care for those type of houses. I like exits out of homes on different floors. I don't want to be stuck. Um, so when people don't have basements and doors in their basement, people are not as attracted to those houses. One, you're trying to figure out, first of all, how you get all the furniture in the house down the steps, as opposed to just coming through a back door. Because we are notorious for walking around the side of our house and going in our back sliding door and getting in treadmills, huge couches, pool tables, you name it. That's the easier way, dressers, whatever, because I have bedrooms in my basement. So instead of coming down the main stairs to the basement and knocking the walls and all the things, it's a nice entry point. So in some builders, I know over the years I've heard somewhere from 4,500 to 6,500 to all the things. Here's what I can tell you. That is a great cost because when you really think about it, and if you ever finally say I want a door, that means someone has to cut into the brick, cut into the framing of your house, and you want to make sure you hire the right people to do the right things to your house. That is a big cost that you don't want to play with. I personally, I just it make me fearful to create a door or to create a window where there was none, especially in the foundation part of the home. But you want the right construction contractor people on hand to do that, and it's not cheap by a long shot, not at all. My aunts just recently put decks on their houses, and their decks are expensive. screened-in porches, large decks, walkways, and things. That is a lot of money. So can you imagine putting a whole door in your house where there was none? That's expensive. So let's think of it in that term of what type of thing would you or would you sacrifice to have in your home from the beginning? Because I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a big fan of structure over bling. The structural changes that cannot be done later, I would rather have those than because I like space. You can do more with space than you can with one countertop versus the other. One of the things that are intangible that I just cannot go back and do, or I don't trust anyone to go back and do. That's the big piece. You really want to do things that make sense in the dollars and thing. Here's my rule of thumb: for every 10,000, let's even say $5,000. For every $5,000 you up or down, add or whatever the cost of something be, you're looking at about a $25 to $30 difference in the mortgage. So is that thing worth $25 or $30 more in your purchase to offset, what you may want to have done? So do you get the back door in the basement? Do you add a front porch? Do you go with a silo garage? Um, do you bump out the kitchen another 4 feet? Not do you get granite over quartz? Not upgrade the shower tile instead of just 6 by 6. I deplore 6 by 6. I literally can't take it. I dread the. Oh, I hate the way it looks. But is that more important than getting the structure of the shower I can do the tile later on in the bed, because I have amazing contractors that I work with. But those numbers, if it keeps you in budget and keeps you in line with what you want to do to get started, because we're just getting started. This is a 30-year investment. When I bought this house, I didn't think down the line that I would move. I thought it gave me everything I needed, the space that we needed. We're a blended family. It gave us the space we needed. The location was amazing. It served all the purposes I had. And as we've grown over the years, we've not had any more babies. Please don't mention that. We've not had any more babies. But what we have done is we've grown as a couple. Our children have gotten older. They moved out, moved back in, all the things, going to college, the normal. We still feel very comfortable here. We still love the location. We still love the fact that we're a mile from Giant and Starbucks and gas and all the things. Everything is right here for us. Still right off the highway. Even though I do a totally different business, I don't go out of town for the government anymore. I love my location of being able to get to different places in the snap of when I leave out of the house on time. We're not going to talk about that. I'm doing very good on my time and making sure I'm on time for things. That's my new goal in life at 51, to make sure I'm on time for things. That's a bad habit of mine because I literally get sidetracked walking out the door and I'm like, oh, let me take the trash out. Oh, let me move this pillow. Let me fold this blanket on the couch. Like that stuff is important. It's really not, but it's in my head, so I got to do it. But I'm super glad to be able to start the series, introduce myself, introduce home buying and selling, home buying, selling. So let's talk about houses. We're going to talk residential. We're talking commercial. We're going to talk land. I do work with builders of all ilks. When it comes to the national builders, when it comes to the small custom builders, those I work with a lot of people. Oh my God, I have to stop. It's a bad habit. I just touch it. I don't know why. And I don't know if it's because I'm nervous and this is new. This new friend. I'm thinking of all the things that are driving me crazy. Like let's get into it. Behind me, I want that all cleared out. That's got to change, or I'm going to have to change the positioning of my camera. But this is my work life. Everything is just is neat. If I throw a book up here, my laptop is right there. I hate when I can't point. That's my laptop. These are my notebooks with notes and different things that I have going on. I love my keys up here. Those are my keys that I give my clients. I love inspirational signs. I usually want hustle sign, my business cards, chaos coordinator. That's me. and another inspirational sign on the other side, and then all my books and all the things. And once again, more inspirational things and things people have given me over the years that I just like to keep. And my basket's full of all my things. I've got a buttload of things. If you ever, I ever come to your house and I do a listing appointment, I hate when I can never get it right. This is my CMA box. The CMAs go in here, the comparables that we talked about before, they'll go inside of this box. The the buyer seller guides will go in here. Whatever you need me to talk about, trinkets go inside. This is the information. And for those of you who've never seen one of these boxes, you get to meet me. You get to talk about my customer testimonials. People that actually like me. I like working with people that like me. That's important to me. I'm not here for abuse and to be talked crazy too. I like what I do, but I don't like enough to put up with all that foolishness. And if you treat me a certain way, I'll treat you a certain way. So that's where it comes into the family portion of it. And I love the fact that I call my clients my family. So stuff like that is what you'll see with me. Pins and um, measuring tapes and flashlights, all the little wonky things that help make the home buying process easier. Just so you can keep up with what's going on. It's a lot to contain. It's a lot to contain when you're selling a house. So I've come to have people come to me. They bought a house with me. They've never sold a house, so they're like, "Hey, this is our first time doing this. How do we get through this process?" And it's not my thing to make them like, "Oh, you don't know how to do that." Well, they've never sold a house. They've only bought a house, so they don't know the other side of the coin. So much more to explain. In this series, I hope will open up the door so you're not glazed over like, what just happened? She came through here like a hurricane, and we do not know what happened. At the end of the day, I believe this is based on a feel. You feeling me? I'm feeling you. We cool together. You know what I mean? That's what it should come down to. So I was almost said it. We're not gonna make that my catchphrase. I'm here to tell y'all that is not going to be the catchphrase. I'm fighting this thing with everything in me. But thank you guys for this first live opportunity. We'll be back next Friday at 12 noon. We'll be here in my office. You never know because my schedule is so for Cocoa Puffs. I try to schedule things and keep it tight, but things happen. And the mom and the wife, people calling me for things, so I have to adjust to life and make things take. But thank you guys for joining me on this first foray into breaking down the home buying and selling aspects of this. And we will get a little hyper local when we talk about the Washington, D.C. metro area, PG County, Charles County, Anne Arundel, Howard, D.C., Northern Virginia. We'll talk more about it. We'll get more in depth with those areas as well. But the generalities of this process, we're really going to dig deep. And my hope is that we get to break it down subject matter by subject matter by subject matter, so you can consume it a little bit better. Because it's like my favorite saying is only one way to eat an elephant, and that is bite by bite. So if we can get it bite by bite and make it more palatable for you and make it more easy to ingest. I don't need you to ingest. I don't need you to be able to sell a house to me. I don't need you to help, write papers or anything like that. I just want my clients and the people that I come across to have a better understanding of how this could work and how it all comes together. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Lisa Pinder with the Pinder Group of eXp Realty. Service. Bye, guys.